Looks like it started before I was ready. 1 second. How's it going, everybody? I'm about to share something that's really important to me. Let me just share this last thing. All right. The thing's supposed to be on a loop, but it wasn't. All right. So anyway, how you start your morning, is going to propel you to success. It's going to determine your day, right? And a lot of people, at least me, before I studied this stuff and learned how to have a structured routine, like I would just wake up and I wouldn't really have a plan, right? And for me, I have ADHD, I have ADD, and it's extremely, very important that I have structure in my life and a plan so I can know what I'm doing. So I'm not distracted because there's so many distractions in the world. And it's my desire to be like Jesus Christ. It's my desire to follow him and live a good life and to love and serve others. So Jesus Christ teaches that we need to seek his kingdom first. I didn't really have a structure to do that, right? So I want to share with you guys how I've been able, through studying and learning from other mentors and other great people, how they structure their morning routines. I've taken my own, and I've even been doing this for 7 years, and I built my own planner, and I'll show you guys right here. I built it, and I recently just published it, and I actually I've done it for 7 years, so I actually give it out to people. You can get it for free on Amazon Kindle, or you can buy it for the paperback, and at Self-Reliance with Christ, you can go and check it out on Amazon, but it's meant to be written in, right? Because when you write things down, you internalize them. So this is only to show you guys how I structure my morning routine to put God first, how I propel my day to success, whether that's, loving others, serving others, putting the most important things first by starting my day off with searching God's kingdom. Okay. So this is purely and solely so you guys can take what you can get from my routine. Hopefully it can help you guys. But again, if you're waking up and just kind of going throughout the day and you're not really sure, maybe everybody has a routine where they brush their teeth and do things like that, but this, being intentional with what you're going to do that day, is going to change your life. It's changed my life. So I'm going to show you guys right now what's in my planner, because again, I built this for myself so I could have structure, because again, I have ADD, ADHD, and I need structure or I'm going to be flying everywhere, right? I'm just going to pick up my phone, start scrolling. I'm going to do all these things that are going to waste my time. Okay. So this is going to help you guys, and I hope it helps you guys. Please leave me any questions or comments. I'm here to help. Again, this is not necessarily to sell. It's not to like sell my plan. I don't really care, right? Like I hope the whole world wants it so it can help them, but it's not, I'm not looking to get rich off of selling this thing. Again, it is free on Amazon Kindle. So let me show you guys the structure that I use, and hopefully it can help your mornings to seek God's kingdom first. And I know there's a ton of different religions out there. I know there's tons of different denominations of Christianity. I believe that as long as you follow Jesus Christ and you serve and love others, I respect that. Obviously, I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I believe that's the church that I've chosen it, right? I follow it because I believe that's God's church. But obviously, there's going to be some hate from that, or there's going to be people that disagree, which I completely understand. I respect and I love everybody's beliefs, and I look forward to help you guys get closer to Christ through this morning routine. Okay, so let's dive right in. So again, you can get this for free on Kindle Unlimited. This is my book, and this is what this planner does. Is it has how to set goals, weekly planning, has like a structure on how to reverse engineer your goals. I really like it because it's given me structure in my life. But basically, let's see. Yeah, you can plan your life out, you reverse engineer it to your year, then you reverse engineer it to your quarters. So you're reverse engineering what you want with weekly planning, and then it has attribute tracker where you can like track your Christ-like attributes and how you're doing. Okay. So anyway, it goes down to a daily, like what are you going to do each day to follow Jesus Christ? So again, need structure, very important for me. And I'm going to show you guys how my morning routine goes. Okay. And I'm just going to zoom in on here. It's kind of cold out here, so my fingers aren't working very good. Anyway, so my day starts out, and I ask myself this question when I wake up. All right. And I write this down later, right after I brush my teeth and whatnot. So I say, why am I alive today? Why has my life been preserved for today? What is my purpose? What is my purpose today? And this question was given to me by one of my mentors. He says right when he wakes up, he asks himself this question. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put this in my planner. So the first thing I do is I write down why I'm alive today. What's my purpose? And it usually is to love and serve others, right? It's usually to think outside of myself, to give to others, because when you're focused on yourself all the time, I'm telling you guys, like that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to love and give to others. And when you give, that's when true happiness is out there, not when you're always thinking about yourself and what you can get. Okay. I write down what time I wake up. I usually wake up. I'm part of the 5 a.m. club. If you've heard of that, I like to wake up at 5 a.m. So I have this morning to be alone and to focus on what's most important to me in the morning. Okay, so I usually wake up at 5. I write that down. I track how many hours I slept because I want to make sure I'm getting enough sleep. So I'm right around like 6, 7, 8. I put the date. I drink a glass of water, right, or water bottle, and I pray. I pray right when I wake up, right? I kneel down by my bed and I pray. So I check that off. And this is after I've done those things. Obviously, I wake up and do these things, and then I sit down with my planner right here and I write this down. And I do this because I pray again like later in the day, because my prayers right when I wake up are they're pretty I don't want to say they're bad, they're just not very good, right? They're not very focused. I just woke up. It's not very what's the word? I don't know. Good. I could be better at praying, right? I'm just kind of woozy after waking up. So, and just to show you guys that like I truly do this, like this is, again, need this structure. It's super important for me. So this was today. This morning. So I write it down and I'm tracking it. Okay. Because what gets tracked improves. And if you're not tracking, it's going to be hard to improve. I know, because I've tried my whole life to do things without knowing how far or how much I'm progressing. It's difficult. So I like to write it down so I can improve. Okay. So let me go back to here. So the next thing I like to do, guys, is after I do that, that takes about like this takes 1 minute. This process of brushing my teeth, getting up, writing this down, maybe like 5-10 minutes. All right. All right. This is the first thing I do. I sit down with my journal, my little planner, and I say, okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pray and I'm going to go to my sacred grove. Okay. Now, if you guys are like, what the heck is a sacred grove? Like, why are you praying again? Again, when I pray, when I wake up on my knees and I get out of my bed, it's not that intentional of a prayer, or in the sense like it's not that good. Just woke up. So I actually come out here, and one of the main reasons I wanted to buy a farm and live out here in the country, this isn't why we did it, but it's a blessing to do it, is there's like, I don't have any neighbors. Like I have no neighbor over there. There's just a bunch of cornfields, and I do have a neighbor on this side, but it's very peaceful. And I'm actually able to go out here and kneel down on the ground and pray. And I believe my prayers are better because I'm alone. I feel like I'm in nature, and I'm able to I feel closer to God because I'm just focused, right? So that's what I do. I pray, and this usually takes about 10 minutes. I pray, I ask for things that I need. I say what I'm grateful for. I pray for others. So prayer is extremely helpful. I believe that I know it works. I prayed for a lot of things, and my testimony of prayer is extremely strong. I know that God gives us what we ask for. Knock and you shall receive. And I remember the scripture, but knock and you shall receive. That's not the scripture. Oh my gosh. It's knock and it shall be open unto you. Ask and you shall receive. Okay. So I know those things are true, because when you do ask God for these things, like he wants to bless you. Now, we don't always get exactly what we want in our timeline, but we're working with God, our Father in heaven, who is he's eternal, right? So sometimes on our timeline is completely different than what he's willing to do and how he's willing to bless us. He's always willing to bless us, but not according to when we want it exactly. And sometimes we don't need what we ask for, right? And it is a weird concept. It's like asking shall receive, right? But sometimes we're asking for the wrong thing, right? And our goal in prayer, really the goal of prayer is to align your will with God. That's what prayer is doing. Is you're asking for things that you know, and they should be in align with the will of God. And how do you find that out? Well, by seeking his kingdom and following his commandments and being closer to him. So anyway, I spend 10 minutes praying. I don't time it, right? But I have it right here. So I pray, I check it off, and just to know I did it. Again, need structure. And I like to write down how long it took, because sometimes I can take a little longer than I want to in my morning routine. So that's the first thing. And I like to lift. I like to work out. So I actually do a set of I have, like, in my gym, in my shop, I have like a bench, a squat rack. So I actually do a set of 5 reps of something heavy every time between these each category, right, of what I'm doing. The next thing I do is I study the scriptures. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I do to study the scriptures. Maybe this will jog not your memory, but maybe this will help you, give you an idea of some good things that you can do. So I like to read from a physical book. Okay, I like to read from the scriptures. and write down, because when you read from something that you can like feel and touch it, I don't know, I think that, not that it means more, but it helps me to be more in the moment, right? When I'm on my phone, there's a lot of notifications. Not saying that I don't read from my phone, but it does help me to study from the actual physical scriptures. Something that I think is cool, right? Don't You don't need to do this, but this is something I just done recently, right? Within the last couple months, is I actually went on Amazon and got a big journal, right? This is like 500 pages, right? And what I'm doing is this is what I do in my morning routine for scripture study. I'm actually copying down like word for word the scriptures, because I don't. I've heard that the Quran, like a lot of people that follow the Quran, again, I'm Christian, and I respect everybody's beliefs, but a lot of people that I've heard that the people that read are part of that religion that believe the Quran, they actually memorize the Quran for something like, I don't know if like why they do that, but it's in order to like progress in the religion. I believe they memorize it, and I was like, man, how are they able to memorize that big book? I don't get it. Right. So I studied a little bit, and it basically, this isn't necessarily what they do, but this is what's helped me to memorize things, is that to write it down. So my goal is to internalize the scriptures and have it in my mind so I can use it and I can become like Christ. So I got this big journal, and I write in about 5 minutes a day. Okay. And I've done maybe uh, 30, 40 pages of writing down the scriptures. But if you guys want to try it, it'd be cool. Like, not that you need to, but this costs me like $15 on Amazon, and I'm just copying down, writing the scriptures word for word, and it's helped me to remember them better. So that's what I do during my scripture study. Hey, Rue, my dog's pulling on. Anyway, hey, come here. So that's part of what I do, and I read from the scriptures in a physical book. All right. Now, I will show you one other thing that is cool. I do this too when I don't have my scriptures with me. Let me show you. This is an app, or it's like a website that you can pay for. It's like $5 a month. I think it's totally worth it. It's called Scripture Notes. But what it allows you to do is you can read the scriptures. Right now I'm in the Bible in Ecclesiastes, I believe that's how you say it. And you can mark, this isn't to sell their product, but I'm just showing you what I like about it. It gives you a way to mark down the scriptures like in a pretty cool way. You can even look up words that you don't know according to like the dictionary, like the old school dictionary that was used back in the day when it was being translated into Old English. So you can look up sacrifice, boom, right? And it gives you like what the definition was back in the day, because apparently definitions can change. Not that I agree with that, but that's just apparently that happens over time. So this is a pretty cool app. It's called Scripture Notes. Again, you can have it on your phone and you can study it. You can even make like pull scriptures from as you're studying the word. You can basically say, okay, under humility, I want to keep all the scriptures under humility, under this meekness, right? Like, so anyway, as you're studying, you're making basically your own like library of notes in here, which I found pretty interesting and I like to use. Okay, so after I study the scriptures, right, and another good thing to study the scriptures and understand it better is to start with a prayer, right? So whenever I pray in the morning in my sacred robe, I usually say, hey, help me to understand the scriptures better and help me to know what you would want me to learn today, right? Okay, so after I study the scriptures, I check it off and I see, okay, how long did I spend doing that? Because again, I can get carried away. This is one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing this for years, and it's blessed my life, and I know it'll bless everybody's life that does this. And by the way, it says 10 by here because I recommend just spending 10 minutes or at least 10 minutes. You can go longer, right? Depends your lifestyle and the season you're in. But 10 minutes doing 1 minute asking yourself why your life's been preserved, 10 minutes to pray, 10 minutes to study scriptures, 10 things to write what you're grateful for. Okay. And the cool thing about the planner, if you guys want to learn more about it, is I actually keep a little bit of a section in the very back where you can write your gratitude journal stuff in. Okay. It's a big planner. All right. Because what it does is it helps you track for 90 days. It's supposed to be used every quarter. But anyway, going back to this, writing in your journal. So I'm going to show you what I personally do. I don't write it in the planner, I actually get like a separate book, separate journal, and I write down what I'm grateful for. I'm going to explain what I do, and maybe this can help you guys out in your morning routines. And I'll explain the rest of it. My morning routines usually take like an hour and a half. I enjoy doing these things, and they really help me get focused. But nobody has to do all this. Doesn't even have to do. You guys don't even have to do any of this. I just want to help you out because it's helped me in my life. So I get a journal, right, and I keep a couple things in it. I write down what I'm grateful for. I write 3 things I'm grateful for. I write down what wins I had the previous day, because I usually write the morning, in the morning of what happened the previous day. I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, some wins I had, and then also things that I'm grateful that will happen, so I can manifest these things that they come to pass, like that they happen. And I also write down what I'm grateful for my wife, because I love my wife and I want to remember that she's a blessing in my life always. So I write down what I'm grateful for. So here it is, guys. Every morning, I just started this new one. I just finished another one. So here is, if I've been journaling, I've been keeping a gratitude journal for 7 years plus, and this is what I find is most important, right? For me, I write down what I'm grateful for. So let's see. I'm grateful for this new journal, for my baby girl, Vera, and for life. Simple as that. I write down some wins, finish my journal from 2005. I took an old journal that I didn't finish and I wrote and finished it. So I finished my journal from 2005 and now I'm starting this one. That's a win. That's a win. I'm winning. Okay. And it's good to remind yourself that you're constantly winning, because life can be tough. So you need to remind yourself, like, hey, I'm a winner. Okay. Obviously, there's failures in life and it's difficult, but I win. I'm a winner. Okay. I write down what I'm grateful that will happen. And I write down, I'm grateful that I'm patient, right? Maybe I'm not super patient, but if I keep writing, I'm grateful that I'm patient, I'm going to remind myself that I should be, and I'm going to internalize it and try to be better. Grateful that. So what I'm grateful for, wins, grateful that will happen. And then I say, my wife is sweet, patient, kind, wise, beautiful. Okay. Write down things that I appreciate about my wife. Okay. That's what I do in my gratitude journal. This takes about 6 minutes, right? Because I get carried away sometimes, and there's a lot of things I can write, but usually time yourself, or you could just be doing it all day if you're like me. In the very back of the journal, so in the front, I write the wins, the gratitude. In the very back, I keep what I call the small plates. What the small plates are, it's just a way to write down things that spiritually that have happened to you, or the hand of God that you've seen in your life. Because the way I see it is, if your family, your posterity, like, is reading your journal in the future, do they want to read about your wins? Do they want to read about all this stuff? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe they want to read about what you're grateful for. But what I think they would want to be read, and what they're really interested in, is how they've seen God impact your life. So I keep it separate so they don't have to read through the whole journal in order to find out like those amazing spiritual experiences that I'm having, right? So I keep it separate. Small plates, spiritual experiences in the back. You could call it tender mercy, spiritual experiences. You don't have to call it small plates. I just call it that. And you write what you're grateful for in the front. Okay, very simple. Why don't I keep it in my planner? Because this is for planning my day and keeping me aligned and focused on hitting my goals. So I keep it separate than this. So this can just be like, if I want to read or write what I'm grateful for, it's just bam, right in there. Okay. Now, hopefully that was helpful to explain how I keep a gratitude journal and why that's been super helpful to me with my mindset, guys. I was going to share my screen, but let me say it helps you with your mind. Like, if you've read the book Psycho Cybernetics, like, writing down your wins, saying that you're a winner, believing, manifesting things, it's all true. Your mind, you are what you think, right? Thought is the seed of action. So what you think is what happens, what you become. So, and honestly, what you read is what you become. So be very careful what you read, what you watch, because your thoughts, again, become your actions. So if you're constantly thinking gratitude, you're going to be more loving. You're going to be more grateful for God. You're going to be more grateful for the things in your life. Like, we all go through trials, right? But you can look at you can look at the things that are happening to you and see them as blessings, right? Like, this is so stupid, but yesterday I just got brand new internet, and my internet goes out right as I'm supposed to be teaching a class for church. I was supposed to be teaching a self-reliance class last night, and the internet goes out, and I get really mad because I'm like, I just got this internet. I didn't get mad. I wasn't yelling or anything. I was frustrated. I was upset because I got the internet. my brother-in-law lives lives with us, and he lives in our basement apartment, and he works from home. So his internet went out, and he's like, oh man, I need to work. And I feel like it's my fault because I was the one that decided to get the internet when the door-to-door salesman came. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So I feel like it's my fault. And I get frustrated because I feel like I'm letting all these people down that were on the self-reliance class. And then I realize, like, I call the Explore people, and I get the internet back in like 20 minutes. And I, I got upset, and unfortunately, like, I got a little annoyed with my wife because I was trying to ask her for her phone so I could use her hotspot. Anyway, as I look back at that, I'm like, man, why would that's such a third world problem? Like, it's the internet. It was out for like 20, 30 minutes. Why am I upset about that? And I look at that experience. I know it's kind of weird, but I'm like, man, I'm grateful that happened because it reminds me that, like, I need to smarten up, right? I need to stop, like, letting things like that affect how I feel and how I treat others. It's so dumb. And I think it's really important when we realize, like, the blessings in our lives and how blessed we are wherever we live. I live in Canada. I'm sure wherever you guys are watching this, you're blessed, and I'd love to hear any blessings, anything you're grateful for. I'd love to hear it. But anyway, it gives you perspective. There's a lot of people that are facing hard things, and internet going out is not a big deal. Okay, so it's good to write those things down. All right, next thing I'll show you guys is in the planner right here. After I pray for 10 minutes, around that time, study, and I write my gratitude wins. These are things that, like, come along with the planner. Nobody has to do this whole thing. It's a lot, especially if you haven't really planned or had structure, like, to your mornings. Like, this is a lot. So I'm not going to get too much into this, but I will tell you guys that I like to do self-reflection and reflect on the day. That's why this planner is pretty big, is the first part of my morning routine. Is just planning the day, and then at the bottom is self-reflection, where you write down, what you're grateful for, what happened yesterday that you enjoyed, how you can improve, what thoughts and behaviors did you do that you need to improve. So I do self-reflection. I then plan my day according to my goals, like my life goals, and I read a little bit more good books, and I try to memorize something every day. So a little intense, right, if you've never done this, but I wanted to show you guys how my morning routine works, and how like I said, I made my own planner because I wanted to be dialed in the morning. And I used to just print it off at Staples, and it was costing me like $30 a month to, like, print off all the paper because paper, I guess, is expensive in printing. So I went on Amazon and I made my book, and I published it like 2 weeks ago, and it's my whole planner that you can use every 90 days. And I made it, and it's like $5 on Amazon. It's like it's like $3 for the paperback, like 10 for the hardback. So I was like, dude, I'll just publish my own planner, and then I'll use it, and I'll give it to the world if any of you are interested in using it. Because, like, why not, right? I'm using it myself. Why not give it out to you guys? So that's what Self-Reliance Christ is. I believe that this can help people get structure in their lives. Like, it's helped me, especially the ADD, ADHD minds out there like mine that are all over the place. Structure and putting God first has changed my life, and hopefully it can help you guys out. Again, you guys, this is not a pitch to sell this thing, because, again, it doesn't matter to me if I do or not, but I do want people to put God first and structure lives. You can get this on Kindle for free. Okay, Kindle Unlimited for free. So that's why I'm saying I'm not pitching you guys. You go get it for free. All right, well, that was what I wanted to go over today, guys, is I wanted to chat about my morning routine and how important it is to put God first. And when you put God first, it propels your life towards success. It propels that day to success. So if you guys want to see success in your lives, focus on others, right? Put God first, read about him, pray about him, try to be like him, emulate your life emulate him. That's what it's all about. It's not about what can I get in this life. It's about what you can give. All right. So I'm excited to share this with the world. And again, my goal is to help others come into Christ and be better, be their best versions. And I think a lot of it comes down to application and trying to do specific things to help you. Yes, you can have faith, but faith is an action verb, right? It's a verb. You have to have faith. You have to do things. You have to believe, right? You have to take action on your faith, right? Keep the commandments. Jesus Christ said, what manner of men ought you to be, even as I am, right? So he wants us to be like him. That's his invitation. It's a big invitation to be like Jesus Christ. He's perfect. but that's what he wants us to be. So hope that helps you guys out. Leave any comments, any questions, concerns, or anything like that. I'd love to hear from you. This is why I do this, is I want to help. Have a great day, everybody. Beautiful day in Canada. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Have a great one. Later, everybody.